This is a LEGO simulator that no guy can resist. Use mechanical devices and creativity to tackle all kinds of challenges. The first round's mission is to intercept speeding vehicles. You'll drive a LEGO police car to stop outlaws racing on the road, constantly upgrading and modifying your car to handle different speeding vehicles. First up is an 8-cylinder vintage car, daring to speed at a blazing 60 minutes per hour, instantly triggering a 5-star wanted level. Once you get the call, you rush to the scene at lightning speed. As a beginner tutorial, this level is a breeze. Just pull off a classic pit maneuver to send it flying and easily make the arrest. But then, a large SUV starts speeding down the main road. Because it's so heavy, your police car can't even budge it. Instead, the SUV goes wild, fishtailing and smashing your headlights to pieces, causing you to fail the mission. You decide to upgrade your vehicle, installing a car catcher on the front bumper, made up of 2 steel forks and a nylon rope. This time, instead of the old head-on collision tactic, you tell the SUV, aim the steel forks at its rear wheels, and let the nylon rope, driven by the vehicle's momentum, tightly wrap around the suspect's tires, easily capturing the speeding vehicle. Next to arrive on the scene is a low-slung sports car. Its extremely low ground clearance makes it impossible for your steel forks to reach behind its tires. So, you modify your vehicle again, lowering the device and adding a latch at the front. In theory, once it slides under the car, it can firmly grab onto the chassis, and then by slamming on the brakes, you can force the other vehicle to a stop. As it turns out, this device is actually quite effective. The sports car struggles desperately, trying to shake off its pursuer, but little does it know that you've already locked it in time. But next, the speeding vehicle you have to face is Optimus Prime. This one is even more of a heavyweight. Although you can still use the same trick to lock onto his chassis, when faced with Optimus Prime's immense horsepower. Even if you slam on the brakes until they're smoking, you still can't slow him down. You'll just get dragged along. Looks like you'll have to upgrade your equipment again. You replace your car's front bumper with a conveyor belt, and after flipping the switch, you can launch tires out to block your opponent's path. Since Optimus Prime isn't that fast, you easily overtake him, then quickly shove 3 tires under his chassis. You successfully flip the big truck over. However, Optimus Prime isn't willing to admit defeat. After going back, he upgrades his equipment too. Now he can control his own direction, so you won't get another chance to pass him. Relying on his massive weight, Optimus Prime weaves recklessly from side to side on the road, making it impossible for you to get ahead and drop tires in front of him. So, being clever, you come up with another device. By using a motor to accelerate and combining it with the car's own inertia, you could launch the spinning tire at high speed. Wouldn't that let you stop him from a distance? But while the theory sounds good, in practice it's really hard to control the tire's trajectory. The hit rate is way too low, and even if you used up all the police department's tires, it still wouldn't be enough. The mission fails again, so you have no choice but to keep improving your device. When it comes to long-range launching, the catapult is undoubtedly the simplest and most effective mechanical device. With the help of modern technology, you can freely adjust both the angle and the force, making it accurate and able to reach long distances. So you drive the catapult vehicle and challenge Optimus Prime once again. Once the tire gets firmly stuck under the chassis, Optimus Prime finally settles down. Next up is an alien tank, equipped with caterpillar tracks and an extremely high chassis. Your catapult vehicle is completely useless against it, and when it comes to firepower, it's way stronger than you. Not only does he not intend to surrender, but he is firing at you with all of his might. Looks like you'll have to go for the ultimate upgrade. After 2.5 days of trial and error, you finally built an anti-tank interceptor vehicle, equipped with hydraulic hooks on all sides that can lift the target vehicle straight up. You drive your vehicle right on top of the tank, then activate the capture mechanism. The hydraulic claws firmly grab the tank's tracks, lifting it high into the air and successfully completing the interception mission. Congratulations on successfully completing the beginner tutorial and advancing to a junior LEGO engineer. With these mechanical principles and techniques, you could add them to your resume and land a good job. My friend used this to get a job as LEGO instructor. Finding a good job isn't hard. Find a job on 58.com. The platform verifies postings. Jobs include general worker, quality inspector, high base salaries, easy interviews. Right now, 10,000 top companies are hiring on the platform. Look for the verified badge to find trustworthy jobs. You can post jobs for free on 58.com. Search everything as possible for a chance to win a Huawei phone, or click the pinned link in the comments. Go check it out. Next, we move to the second round. Your task: use LEGO to build a device to sink different boats on the water. First is a single-person kayak. You spend 2.5 minutes building a base with steering, and you can adjust the pitch angle as you like. After making sure the test runs smoothly, you add the firepower kit. With the motor drive and your girlfriend's rubber bands, it can achieve fully automatic loading and firing. Paired with a high-capacity magazine, it can fire 12 shots per second. Let's put it in into action and see how it does. Looks like the firepower isn't enough. You add another rubber band. After the kayak takes 12 direct hits, it can't hold up and you clear the first stage. Next up is a lifeboat. Since it's bigger than your level, your close and defense cannon doesn't work on it. Looks like you'll have to find another way. So you rethink your approach. You use a drive chain to connect two gears, attach an external motor to power the central set of blades, and create a small whirlpool on the seafloor. The lifeboat starts spinning out of control and, in the end, can't escape being sucked down to the bottom of the sea. Next up is a much larger fishing vessel, but you stay completely calm and simply add an extra motor to speed up the whirlpool. This upgrade works like a charm. The fishing boat is instantly sucked away by the powerful current, and you successfully clear the third level. In the next round, a gunboat enters the scene. As a military-grade vessel, its tonnage and stability are clearly much higher than the previous ones. Even when you crank the power up to the max, you still can't budge it. Looks like you'll have to try a different approach. You spend 2.5 hours coming up with a brilliant device. Just by watching you build it, most people would have no idea what it does or how it works. But once you flip the switch, everything suddenly makes sense. So you were actually paying tribute to that, right? Actually, this is a wave-making machine. It uses 4 wheels to continuously and relentlessly operate like a steam-powered cannon, stirring up waves on the sea. And according to the Pythagorean theorem and the Darwin effect, the waves get bigger and bigger. In the end, the cannon couldn't hold up and the whole thing capsized in the gutter. However, there's always someone better out there. When faced with this giant transport ship, your weight-making machine can't really stir up any trouble. With a T-Rex guarding the ship, it's as steady as a tiger. These little waves are nothing to worry about. So once again, you borrow a few rubber bands from your girlfriend, planning to build a heavy-duty weapon. This is a catapult, the kind used in ancient siege warfare. Many years ago, people had already designed these kinds of projectile devices. They could freely adjust the trajectory and control where the stones would land, which was already an incredible feat of engineering. But trying to sink a transport ship with one is still a bit of a stretch. So you decide to upgrade it with modern structures to further boost its range and power. And it has to be fully automatic too. After the upgrade, the catapult can launch massive boulders, delivering deadly blows to its targets. This shot lands right on the T-Rex's head, and even manages to sink the target ship along with it. Next up is a cargo ship about half the size of a fish tank. You still use the catapult to attack, but all you manage to do is knock some of the cargo off the ship, causing some localized casualties. For the ship as a whole though, it's barely a scratch. It's still nowhere near enough to completely sink this big guy. But your clever mind comes up with another common device from everyday life. First, you build a centrifugal pump using chains and blades. Then, you construct a framework above it, install a drive motor, and connect it to the water pipe below with a hinge to control its lifting angle. Let's try this water pump to see if it can work wonders. Since this ship is designed to carry large cargo, this small amount of water isn't nearly enough to sink it. At most, it's just giving it a wash. When one plan fails, you come up with another. This time, you're going for something fun. Just looking at the framework, you can tell it's a massive project. You built a mobile track and recreated a small crane on it, using a pneumatic system connected to a set of backpack hooks. And it's even a movable gantry crane. But with a device of this size, actually lifting both the person and the boat together is probably just wishful thinking. Turns out, you didn't plan to use brute force, but instead applied constant pressure to the boat while transporting it with the crane. Just like the Legend of Jingwei filling up the Sea with pebbles. Today you can also use your crane to sink the giant. After 150 minutes of continuous work, this massive cargo ship finally couldn't take the strain anymore. You successfully completed the final level of the beginner's tutorial. Next up, you'll be facing the Titanic. Figure out a way to sink it. Now you're on the third level, where you'll become a demolition expert, building different machines to destroy tall towers. The first stage is a flimsy little tower. You drive your small vehicle back and forth, bumping into it a few times, and easily knock it down to unlock the next difficulty. The tower's foundation has now been upgraded to a 4x4 structure, making it much sturdier. In comparison, your little car doesn't pack enough punch, so you swap in a torque gear to boost its speed and keep ramming the tower. But it barely makes a dent. The battery even falls out from the impact. Looks like you're still not tough enough to take it down head-on. So, you reinforce the front of the car with a sturdier, thicker Lego gravity brick. One of these is as strong as 5 regular bricks. With this upgrade, your dump truck launches another assault, and soon cracks start to appear at the base of the tower. Challenge complete. But don't celebrate just yet. The difficulty is still ramping up. This time, the Lego tower is built with a 6x6 stud base, making its defenses even stronger. To match that, you specially added 2 large bricks to your vehicle. But even after smashing up the front, the tower doesn't budge at all. Looks like you'll have to come up with a different demolition device. You thought of the siege vehicles used in ancient wars. So you spent 2.5 hours designing a prototype. There's a steel ball at the top of its ram, which can deliver a powerful blow to the tower. But the swinging force doesn't seem strong enough. Thinking back to the details of ancient sieges, soldiers would pull the battering ram far back to build up force. So, you added a set of clutch gears to store energy for the hammer, and it can automatically release once it reaches a certain torque. With that, the brand new version 2.0 Siege engine is born. Let's see how it performs in action. Under the continuous attacks from the siege engine, the tall tower in the 3rd level also came crashing down. You successfully completed what seemed like an impossible challenge. But soon, a massive 8x8 tower rose up from the ground. Its defense was ridiculously high, and your attacks couldn't do any damage at all. Even after adding counterweights, there was still no visible effect, so you had no choice but to come up with a completely new siege machine. You remember watching the TV show Robot Wars as a kid, where there was a type of attack that used a catapulted iron hammer. Brutal and powerful. With a single swing, the hammer comes down with tremendous force, and you can't wait to see how your new machine performs. Sorry to interrupt, because it didn't have a reloading function. Unless you could finish things with one blow, you'd just be left standing there helpless after using it. So you modified it using transmission gears and ropes. The Haugen Hammer 2.0 is here. With the new reloading feature, it can now keep attacking the tower continuously. After dozens of long-range artillery shots, a noticeable crack appeared in the middle of the tower, and the base components also became somewhat loose. You rev up your power and deliver the final blow, causing the tower in level 4 to collapse with a thunderous crash. But what if the tower is further upgraded into a wide structure 10x10? How would you handle that, sir? Obviously, the Haugen hammer can no longer keep up with this version, so you need to build an entirely new mechanical device. The idea this time is to attack buildings remotely by launching steel balls. You've also equipped it with a base that allows the turret to move freely and adjust its elevation angle. Let's see if this device will be effective. Although the damage isn't very high, if you look closely, you can see that the structure of the tower has undergone slight deformation from the impact. As everyone knows, quantitative change leads to qualitative change. If you scratch hard and fast enough, you can still deal massive damage. Although the level 5 tower was successfully destroyed because it took too long and the steel balls had to be loaded manually during the process, the challenge was deemed a failure. So you went on to create an entirely new mechanical device, this time using a design concept completely different from before. The main function of this machine is to launch a grappling hook, while the other auxiliary components are all there to adjust the firing angle. After several attempts, you found the optimal parabolic trajectory and successfully launched the grappling hook to the back of the top of the tower. I have to say, you're truly a genius for designing this device. Although at first it was too light to pull anything, that problem was easy to fix. Just add some counterweights and it's solved. After that, the little vehicle went full throttle and pulled the entire tower apart in several pieces. Stage 5 cleared perfectly. Now, it's time to take on the final level. The 12x12 foundation is rock solid, and the staggered brickwork makes it even sturdier. It's basically a Lego skyscraper. Even with your little vehicle loaded up with all the counterweights, it still can't budge this building. It seems that all those brute force demolition methods you used before probably won't work here either. So you need to take a different approach and design a truly revolutionary building demolition machine. This is different from the cars you've seen before. It's hard to imagine how it works just by looking at the outside, so let's go straight to the actual combat and see how this machine destroys the building. It turns out this is a vibration machine for buildings. By climbing to the top of the skyscraper and shaking at a certain frequency, it causes the entire structure to resonate. To be fair, the idea is good, but it seems like the force isn't quite enough to shake the building's foundation. So you decide to make some targeted modifications, adding 2 massive pendulums with even more dramatic swings. Now, let's sway along to the rhythm of the music. No, it's not working. I can't shake it anymore. This last level is too difficult. It seems that I must use my ultimate secret and prepare for a fight to the death. Congratulations on clearing the final stage. Next, you'll be facing the hidden boss, the Twin-Headed Tower. So, how do you plan to take on this new challenge?